This man's journey is incredible. When he's gone, when I'm talking about Cole Palmer, I'm talking about his his Club World Cup performance. Absolutely quality. One of the best players, if not the, well, he won player of the tournament, but so many players can have their opinions. But for me, his story is one of the best players to follow. When you go back to the times of when he was at Manchester City, there's an interview that he done when he left. And it was with Sky Sports. And in that interview, he turned around and the guy asked him, what was it about leaving Manchester City? Why? What was going on? Because if we remember, we can go back and we can kind of see that he was pretty comfortable in Manchester City. He was playing games. I think at the start of that season, he played the Community Shield. There were so many things sort of somewhat going for Cole Palmer, but clearly there was just something that wasn't enough, right? Now, when you watch that interview, you will hear that he said he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to go on loan, but the club said it's either you stay or you go. There's so many players out there that feel stuck, that feel like they're in a situation where they know that they're good enough. They know they can go to another level. They know that they can play first team football. They know that they could be consistent at something. But there is kind of all these variables that's in the way that stops you. Now, when you look at Cole Palmer coming from Manchester City, there were so many comparisons to Phil Foden. And there's some of you out there that want to be like Phil Foden, but may not have the ability of Phil Foden, or may not have had the opportunity that Phil Foden is having. Now, if you look at Cole Palmer and you look at the academy players that he came through with, there were loads trying to come through at this time. And Cole Palmer sat there and said, well, if that's the case, I can't go on loan because the whole point of reason why he wants to go on loan is the first team minutes. I've told you guys how important first team minutes really are when it comes to being a footballer. So he said, cool, if I can't go on loan, I'm leaving. Now, I remember all the fans, everybody at that time were thinking, why would you do that? Why would you go from a Man City down to a Chelsea? Now, years later, we look at it, it's history. He's one of the best players for Chelsea right now. He's one of the best players in the Premier League right now. He wouldn't have had the journey he's had, the way he's had it. And I feel like there is a blueprint that we can take as footballers from that. One of the things that we can look at that we have to understand is that there's no problem going down to go back up. Like there is no problem with doing that. Now, I don't say that as disrespect to Chelsea whatsoever, but in the grand scheme of things at that time, Man City, one of the best clubs in the world, known to have one of the best, academies producing players, right? Like we said, Phil Foden came from that. And to go from that, where, like I said, he's playing, he's then gone down to a Chelsea who at the time weren't performing, weren't doing too great. And now he's become the star player. He's the star man. Everyone's trying to be like Cole Palmer. You see celebrations everywhere. He's a part of every advert you can see. Everybody wants a piece of Cole Palmer. That would not happen. That would not be possible if Cole Palmer did not make the decision to say, hey, do you know what? I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to manage my career. This is my football life. And I'm going to say, I need the minutes and I need to go make this happen now. The difference between Cole Palmer and a lot of other players is that he sat there and had evidence. When we look at evidence, I'm talking about this guy's played games in Manchester City's first team already. He's played in different types of competitions. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Premier League. He's created chances. He scored some goals, right? That's evidence. So he's reaffirmed to himself. He's confirmed to himself that I am good enough. I've been here. I'm doing it. So what's the problem? It's like, it's either you let me go on loan so I can get more experience, or do you know what? I'm going to go and figure this out on my own. And to some people, that's a risk. But let me tell you something. Nothing's worth having if you don't take risks sometimes. And for me, his story is just amazing. As I said, he's now gone and won trophies. He's now been able to be number 10 for a club, which we know what that means when you get that number, right? He's now the main man at Chelsea. He's now becoming somebody at England that's literally being picked every single time a squad is coming up, right? And that journey and that story from top to going down to building again, for me, is a story that a lot of us as young players can follow.